important speeches, eloquently presented. I still can say that I'm deeply honored to join you this afternoon to launch the Tarehe Sita 2026. It's true that I was given very short notice, but I assured the minister. I understand the president was supposed to preside over this. When he was not able to come, then the mantle went to the Right Honorable Dr. Gunda, who had issues, and then it came to me. Coincidence? I'm not so sure. I'll tell you in a moment. But I told the minister not to worry about me. Of course, I didn't have a speech. But I told her I will be home. Tarehe Sita is a day that carries a lot of meaning to all of us who participated in, supported, or lived through the struggle that gave rise or gave birth to the National Resistance Army, now UPDF. And I'm really humbled to be the chief guest today, not only as a founder member of NRA and former Minister of Defense, but also as a son of Kigezi, the region that is going to host all these activities this year. This is an honor I receive with gratitude, with pride, and reflection. So, let me say the obvious. What is Tarehe Sita? What is the meaning? Those are, it's okay, you can keep them. Actually, these are not mine, so I am not using them, but they are flying around. So, what is the meaning of Tarehe Sita? Tarehe Sita is not simply a date. It is a testament of resilience, a reminder of the young men and women who sacrificed everything so that Uganda could begin anew. On 6th February, people have been telling stories. The last one was from the minister. Can I tell you a story? The attack on Kabamba was supposed to be on 5th of February, not 6th. So, on the night of the 4th of February, our leader, Museveni, came to my house at 11 p.m. and told me about the change that had been necessitated by some reasons. The change of the date of the attack. So he tasked me, together with the late Sam Magara and the late Akanga, to go to Kabamba and inform our contacts within the barracks who knew, who were privy to this plan about the change. And I did drive my small 120Y. I don't think these cars are there anymore. A Datsun 120Y. So I decided to pass through Masaka, Zimbabwe. I was trying to be clever. To take that route, deliver the message, and then emerge through Mubende the other way. Unfortunately, the road was so bad that we arrived late. You see, we were supposed to arrive, park a distance away from the barracks, get these chaps come over, we have a discussion, and we drive off so that nobody notices. We arrived at about 5:30. By 5:30, by the way, it's not very dark. So we decided not to take the risk to get close to the barracks. And we sent Akanga. Akanga was the young one. So Akanga went to deliver the message because we knew it was getting very close. Because this general parade was a daily parade on the parade ground. And the assembly, I think, started at 6 a.m. every day. So we were now close to 6 a.m. We decided to send Akanga to go and get Kanyankore. We had people like Kanyankore in the barracks to deliver the message because it was too late to actually bring them to me and Sam Magara. So Akanga went and didn't come back. 6 o'clock, no Akanga. 6:30, no Akanga. We were now in a panic. You can imagine. What would we report back? I don't know if you realize the meaning of failure at that stage. So we decided to take a risk. We drove to the barracks. There was I don't know if Kabamba changed. I was in Kabamba in charge of our NASA forces when we integrated them into the new UNLA force. But I think there has a lot, I haven't been there in many years, so I suppose there has been a lot of change. But at that time, just outside the gate into the barracks, and not far from the armory that was talked about, which was underground, was the residence of officers. So we drove there, and we found officers who were not on duty. They had not gone for the parade. So we met them, Moguta, JJ Odong was a second lieutenant, and ask him next time you see him, his greatest contribution that day was to make porridge for me, and we had it for breakfast. And Sam Magara had been talking to Muguta and others, trying to find out where Akanga was. To cut a long story short, Akanga had been grabbed, because by the time he arrived, the parade was already on the ground, and no one was supposed to be loitering around. And he had been grabbed by Tanzanians. So through these officers, we managed to get Akanga released. He joined us in the car, and we drove off. And of course, the greatest question was, did you deliver the message? And he answered, yes. And we happily and comfortably came back to town, reported mission accomplished. And the next day, Kabamba was attacked. As you know, a group of us, armed with 27 guns. You know, people say there were 27 fighters. No, that's not true. Actually, there were 44. I've heard the figure of 43. Actually, they were 44 with 27 guns, 27 rifles. That group, armed more with conviction than weapons, embarked on a struggle whose outcome no one could guarantee except through faith, discipline, and unity of purpose. From that struggle arose a people's army, an army built on the trust and support of the Wananchi. The UPDF's foundation was laid in that bond between the fighters and the civilians. Without the people, there would have been no NRA. And without the army, the people would not have secured peace. The military-civil cooperation we celebrate today, I had come with a fairly long speech, given my knowledge and experience in all this, but obviously we don't have time for long speeches, but I hope you can invite me one day when we have the time to go through them, because I regret that we have been too busy with all sorts of things and we have never really told the full story. And the story cannot be full until you have had the various stories from the many actors that contributed to this struggle. The military-civil cooperation we celebrate today did not come by accident. It was deliberate. It was principled, and it remains essential. During the Bush War, as you all know, the people sheltered the fighters. They shared food with them. They treated their wounds, offered intelligence, and provided moral courage. In return, the fighters protected communities, respected them, and upheld strict discipline. This mutual respect became the core doctrine of the NRA, later UPDF, and it is gratifying to see that this doctrine continues to guide our force today. The UPDF is not merely a military institution. It is a people's force grounded in service, humility, and national duty. This year's activities in the Kigezi sub-region, by the way, it's pronounced Kigezi, but because of Chiganda influence, because in Chiganda, Ki is pronounced as Chi, many people now call it Chigezi, but the proper pronunciation is Kigezi. So this year's activities in the Kigezi sub-region feel like a homecoming. For Dr. Gunda, who was unable to come and asked me to deliver his apologies to you, and myself, for many comrades and for the people of our hills and valleys who played an enormous role in our liberation journey. The planned activities, engineering works, the ones General Masco listed here, they are not ceremonial gestures. They reflect the UPDF's belief that security is not only the absence of war, but the presence of health, education, infrastructure, environmental protection, and community empowerment. As the army returns to Kigezi, it returns not as a stranger, but as a partner, as a child returning its people, reaffirming the covenant forged decades ago. As Minister of Defense, yes, the Deputy CDF remembered that I was one of you. I came here and I wasn't sure that I knew this place. It has changed so much. I thank the leadership for that. But as Minister of Defense, I had the distinct honor of overseeing in phases the professionalization and the transformation of UPDF. We invested in training and discipline, modernization of equipment, strengthening defense institutions, improving welfare of officers and men. I hope this continued. Building strategic capabilities in engineering, medical, and peace support operations. Today, the UPDF stands as one of Africa's most respected and dependable forces. And I am always quick in my various diplomatic journeys around Africa and beyond. I always remember to make this point to many. UPDF participates in regional peace missions, protects our borders, and contributes to the stability of the Great Lakes region. But most importantly, it continues to serve the Ugandan people. So, as we look ahead to Tarehe Sita 2026 and beyond, the central message is clear. The strength of Uganda lies in the unity between its citizens and their armed forces. I always make the point, General Mujira made reference to the unit, the area that he superintends now. I always made the point that a country or a people that do not have the capacity to defend themselves cannot be free. You can't. A modern army must be technologically advanced, well-trained, and well-equipped. But it must also remain close to the people, guided by discipline, anchored in the values of the liberation struggle, and dedicated to defending both sovereignty and human dignity. The UPDF has shown this throughout its operations, emergency responses, disaster relief, community work, and regional deployments. So allow me, therefore, to thank the Minister of Defense, of course, the Commander-in-Chief, the Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs, the UPDF leadership, officers, men, and auxiliary staff for staying true to the legacy of our struggle. I also thank the people of Kigezi, the 6 districts, for welcoming and supporting these activities. Your partnership with the UPDF is part of our shared history and our shared future. So as we launch Tarehe Sita 2026, let us recommit ourselves to the ideals for which the struggle was fought: peace, unity, justice, and prosperity. Let the UPDF continue to be a force that people trust. Let the people continue to be the backbone that strengthens our nation. And let this celebration remind us that Uganda's greatest victories have always been achieved when the army and the civilians march together. One of our president's enduring teachings is that security is a product of both military strength and social stability. And I'm glad that the speakers before me covered this aspect very well. This is why UPDF's work goes beyond the battlefield. It is reflected in emergency responses and disaster relief, engineering works and infrastructure support, medical outreaches, all those things that actually I have just listed. These are not new inventions. They are continuation of what defined the NRA, a force that lived among the Wananchi, respected them, defended them, depended on them, and protected them. This doctrine remains one of Uganda's greatest strategic assets. So I want to thank you all, and I look forward. I was eagerly waiting to hear because you know, of the people who began this struggle, the Fronasa people, of course led by Museveni. Very few still live. But those who were continuous from beginning up to today are, of course, Museveni, Ruhakana Rugunda, and myself. There are others who are still alive. Most of our comrades, obviously, are dead. There are others who are still alive, but who retired early. There are not many, but there are some who retired early. We have people like John, I used to call him John during the struggle, Mr. Augustine Ruzindana, and others who are still alive, but did not continue in this line. Then there are those, of course, who came, Brigadier General Muledea, you know, you were, I think, the third group. Mule was the third group. Yes, there. These are the ones we sent to Mozambique, 1976. 1976. There were others before, you know, the Otafides and others like that. Saleh, General Saleh, yes. So, we are not many remaining, but we are happy with what we have. We are confident Uganda is in good hands, even as some of us prepare to get off the stage. So, I thank you all, and I look forward to joining you in Kigezi to celebrate this year's activities and to renew the spirit of our revolution. Thank you very much. God bless you.